We have our first news video of the day opened, and it starts with a bit of interesting news. And the bit of interesting news is that former Ring of Honor World Champion Bandido spoke in a recent interview about his match with Chris Jericho and the possibility of eventually going to work for WWE, saying that he would love to eventually at some point work for WWE, and that though it isn't necessarily something that I think a lot of people would expect, him working for WWE, that it would be a I mean, I think it is still somewhere that a lot of people do want to work, but just maybe not as much as, like, maybe it's not as expected as it once was, if that makes sense. He was speaking with So Catch by Hell 2, and this excerpt is from Fightful. At some point, I would like to go to WWE, not in this moment, but I hope after. Later, I was in WWE. They invited me to the Performance Center. They gave me a Camaro all that week to drive. That was amazing. I made good amigos with Chris Hero. I saw him at the Performance Center. And now he's a really good friend. I love you, amigo. He's very nice. So, I don't know off the top of my head if Chris Hero is still at the Performance Center or within the ranks of WWE Developmental, but I do know at some point, maybe a year or so ago, maybe a little longer than that, that it's been a little bit since Chris Hero was a part of the developmental process for WWE, but I think Bandido would be a good asset for WWE, and also Bandido would be a good asset for specifically NXT, because I think he also fits the NXT process. I mean, especially just look at who Wes Lee has fought in the with his North American title defenses. He is exactly who Wes Lee has fought with his North American title defenses. So I think that is somebody that WWE should consider getting if the opportunity presents itself. Now we shift over to just random updates on talent, which is something that I have been doing over the last couple of days. But this is more contracts with talent. I mean, this is more contracts, not health updates. As Wes Lee, the former NXT Tag Team Champion, has been brought back to the company with the intention of him becoming a road agent for WWE and or a coach down in developmental, whichever you want to refer to it as, or whatever you want to refer to it as. But I think it is a very fitting addition to the roster. Wes Lee was somebody that at some point, honestly, I thought had a lot of potential. And, realistically, he could have, he was showing the ability to make a tag team work with, basically just about anybody. Because he made it work with Buddy Matthews, and he also made it work with, Steve Macklin. Buddy Matthews is, of course, in AEW now, and Steve Macklin's in Impact Wrestling, but he basically showed that he could make it work with whichever partner he was with, which is a skill that not everybody has. It's a skill that not everybody has as far as being in a tag team is concerned. And now if we shift over to the upcoming episode of AEW Dynamite, as the April 12th edition of Dynamite is set to take place. The April 12th edition of Dynamite is set to take place tomorrow, of course, as that is, that is the day for Dynamite. And if you remember on Rampage this past week, we heard that Chris Jericho was not in the building because of his upcoming match on Dynamite against the man Keith Lee, which should be an intense contest for the leader of the JAS, as it has been a little bit since we've seen Keith Lee on AEW programming. But it should be a positively amazing test for Keith Lee, and him in a position that we really have not seen him in since he started in AEW. But also Darby Allin and Swerve Strickland and Orange Cassidy will defend his AEW International Championship against Buddy Matthews. And if Orange Cassidy wins, then like I said yesterday, he moves to Collision in Philadelphia as he took over for Eddie Kingston on that event to defend his international championship against Gabriel Kidd. But honestly, I think that if there was ever a chance that Orange Cassidy would lose, with the momentum that the House of Black have, I think it is a possibility he could lose the title tomorrow. But also on that event, the rivalry between the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club continues to intensify as Mox and Claudio Castagnoli lock horns with Brandon Cutler, the best friend, one of the best friends of the Young Bucks. And Michael Nakazawa, who has had interactions or been tied to the Elite over the last 3 years since the start of AEW. So it is fitting to see Cutler and Nakazawa stepping up. But I guarantee you it's not going to look good. And also, if you look to the other side, if you look back to the other side, I just want to get this out of the way now. Vince McMahon, any Vince McMahon conversations, unless it's something that hasn't been mentioned, because if it's something that has been mentioned and it's the rewrites, or if it's this, or if it's that, the fact of the matter is, I don't care anymore. Honestly, I don't care anymore because I'm a wrestling fan. I'm not involved in the creative process. I am not backstage. I am not one of those people that sit on my hands and wait and wonder how much better the show would have been. I'm done. At this point, Vince McMahon isn't news. Vince McMahon and his interactions with the product may or may not negatively or positively affect the show. I don't care anymore. It's not going to impact my opinion, and it's not going to change the fact that I am not involved in the creative process. And if Vince wants to be selfish and be actively involved in a product that he's not needed in, then fine. But I'm not going to care anymore. That's it. With that being said, though, I wanted to get that out of the way now and not have it be in the second video. Either way, though, I do appreciate everybody. I do appreciate the love that was shown to part 1 of the Twitch project that debuted yesterday, and part 2 will be up today, where we go through another streamer, or where we look at another streamer. I am thinking about ways to get the Twitch project up on audio-only sites. I may upload the audio-only version at some point because it doesn't seem to want to be uploaded to the other podcasting site. But either way, I'll figure it out. with that being said, I just wanted to say thank you for the support on that video. It really does mean a lot after 2 years of hard work and dedication to that and getting that together and building that into something that was worth sharing with y'all. It means a lot that you guys showed the love and support to it that you did. So with that being said, we move forward now to the next news video, and I will see you in that video.